Hey, and welcome YouTube. Have you ever wondered what states are packing the most firewood and where are those massive firewood facilities that you may have read about or seen on YouTube? Where are the people that have the most buzz about firewood in the United States? Well, stick with me and I'm going to show you. My name's Kyle Walling. This is my YouTube channel and I'm going to show you a powerful tool that can help you to analyze trends and find out different things about many subjects, and it could help you to make YouTube videos or market businesses or just pique your interest if you're interested in these kind of things. So without further ado, let me show you. Here we go. What you're going to want to do is pop on over to trends.google.com, and I changed the settings. Here is a graph for a year of firewood searches, and this is under the YouTube search. If you look at the top drop down menu there, this is a YouTube search, and you can see that for the past year, Vermont and Maine are the top two states, followed by Wisconsin. Now if you click on this little icon here and come down to metro region, you can see that La Crosse and Eau Claire, Wisconsin, however you say that, is number one, followed by Presque Isle, Maine, and then once again Vermont and Plattsburgh, New York area. So those are basically the trending areas. So we'll come over here and click on this Wisconsin state, the shaded blue, dark blue state, and you can see the two cities and their interest. Now the 100 represents 100 peak interest and 50 is like half of peak interest. You can read about what these numbers mean if you click on that little question mark. But let's come back to the United States here. So now we're looking once again at the nationwide trends, and here I am in Kentucky with 31, and Florida is a 5, and Texas is a 9. So that kind of shows you a breakdown and a visual picture of the country of where the hot spots are. I guess there's just not as many people in the North Dakota, South Dakota, Central Plains region, but they probably have a lot of firewood interests up there in that area too. So here we are. Let's search another term, and I'm going to search log splitter, and you can see the trend graph looks very similar. And once again, we have Maine, Montana, and Vermont again in the top three. So you can search all kinds of things and whatever interests you and find trends and try to isolate trends and marketing ideas for anything related to firewood or not. I'm just doing some quick searches here to show you this tool and talk about the firewood aspect of things. So you can come to trends.google.com and find trends on anything that you would like to do in your free time. And on the bottom you can see these related topics. I don't know what that bark buster log splitter is. I'm going to look into that. But there's all kinds of different types of log splitters and things that people are searching on Google for. So this is, or excuse me, that was still YouTube search. Let's click on now web search, and this will take us to the Google web search results for log splitter. And they change a little bit. West Virginia has snuck into the equation. New Hampshire, once again, Maine is in the top three. So Maine seems to be a state that has a lot of firewood interest, and that makes sense. I guess there's a decent population and it's a cold state. So let's come back and type in firewood here on the United States Google web search, and you can see the graph trend for the past year. Once again, Maine and Vermont are the top two most searched are the states with the most search results. So right now when I'm making this video, it's about the end of January, and you can see the projected trend on the graph is projected to start declining. And we'll look at that in a minute, the trend year over year, how those kind of work. And there certainly is a trend to firewood. But let's click on Metro, and it's pretty surprising that Eureka, California is now number one in the firewood search. But then the northeastern states are all dark blue. We have Maine, Montana. Again, this is being done by cities though, so it's isolated cities within the states, and if if you look at the totals for the states, that's why the state totals are different than the cities, if that makes sense. Because when you would add up all of the cities and put them in a statewide total, I mean, the number of people varies greatly between the differences in city totals and state totals. But anyways, now I have just selected for the past day to look at how the results are just for the past 24 hours. And that's the trend. And you saw the resulting states that were trending for the past day. But let's start looking at some longer term periods and longer term trends. So for the past year, again, here's what the graph looks like. And if we go to 5 years, look how cyclical the trends are for firewood. I mean, every year it's a mirror image. Some year we have a few spikes, but for the most part, that's a pretty symmetrical trend. I mean, during the winter, about September, it ramps up and then hits January, February, and starts falling off in through the spring and summer, over and over and over. So that's pretty predictable. And once again, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Alaska are at the top of the search results for the 5-year history. And Maine seems to just be the far and away winner of the most interest. So there's a lot of activity going on, a lot of people interested in firewood in Maine. So let's go ahead and expand this even further now. I'm going to click the drop down and go to 2004 to present and look at the trend graph. It seems to be kind of trending upwards. If you were to draw a best fit line on that, it looks like it has a small upward slope on that, which is interesting. But the annual trend is just, it peaks and valleys every year. Once again, Maine number 1, Vermont number 2, New Hampshire number 3, Alaska. So that is very consistent. And as far as making YouTube videos, I'm going to look at trying to target some of those markets more. If those are hot button keywords for Maine and Vermont, if you can find things to do to relate firewood to those states, that could be good for YouTube. So I also searched the log splitter term, and the graph is almost identical. Look at the cycles of that annually. It just follows the firewood graph, almost identical. So I'll let you guys get creative. If you can think of any other terms related in the firewood industry, whether it's kindling splitters or whatever it is, you can find all kinds of trends on this, and it can help you to make videos and help grow your YouTube channel. I think I'm going to start using this more often. So I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something. Have a great day, everybody.